What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And it looks like they did it, y'all. They went ahead and they impeached 45. Maxine Waters got her wish. Impeach 45. Talib got her wish. You know, the one that said we're going to get in there and impeach the MFer. The one that was supposed to be discreet about suppressing the joy and glee of impeaching the president, but couldn't help herself. Did a little walk video talking about I'm on my way to impeach President Donald J. Trump. And then she tried to laugh it off on behalf of my constituencies. But you can tell, and that video was personal, the same people who swore up and down, this is a solemn moment. This is not easy. The same people who just broke out into cheering and clapping when they announced the vote. Yay! And Nancy was like, hey, I've been wasting all this time getting up on the mic talking about this is breaking our heart, and y'all can't suppress your joy. We're going to celebrate later. I got the champagne in the back. So after this, we all going to go back there and have a good time. But it's going to be short-lived. That was the dumbest decision ever. Now, I get it. The Democrats stink. Their policies suck. And they can't beat Trump head to head. I mean, they're doing what I guess, guerrilla warfares. Let's fight down and dirty. We ain't got no choice. This is our bonsai moment. We have to go ahead and just crash the planes into the ships and try to kill everybody, because that's what they're doing. They're destroying their own selves while trying to destroy Trump. But see, you got to understand, when you look at that whole scenario, the U.S. won. They don't realize that those battleships are built better than they think. Okay, so you got Trump. They've been trying to get him now. We all knew this since since he first was sworn in. We saw it coming. It was telegraphed. This right here was a quarterback that says hut, and the whole time he's looking at one receiver. Everybody on the defense is like he's throwing right over there. This is the boxer who's sitting there, and he can't hit with his left. He's sitting there. He ain't even got his left up. He's like, you better, the right hook is coming. Yeah. So nobody's shocked by it, but I am disturbed by it because of what the Democrats have unleashed upon our society. They don't realize how divisive this is. Do you think that if, God forbid, he was removed, that the United States would just be okay with that? All of his voters, all of the people who voted for him would just be like, well, what are you going to do? Let's move on. It would be complete chaos around these here United States, more so than it is right now. Because remember, we're supposed to accept the results of an election, which the Democrats have never accepted. And then they encourage their voters and followers not to accept it either by doing crazy things like Antifa, rioting, showing up, harassing people, all the underhanded, dirty mob tactics, but yet accusing Trump of shakedowns and mob tactics. They're the mob personified. That's what they are. And so you saw the whole thing last night. They did the vote, regardless of all of what the Republicans were saying, which made sense, regardless of them not having any real laws that, any real crimes to put in those articles. They did it anyway. They don't need those things because, see, they know that they can get away with this stuff because the media runs interference for them. So now you've been hearing for months that President Trump has committed treason / bribery / quid pro quo / extortion / shakedown, all of this. But when you look at the articles of impeachment, nothing's there. It's real light. I went to pick it up like, wait a minute, whoa. I don't even have to loosen up. I don't have to stretch to lift this, nothing, because it's real light. Okay, Trump will be impeached for 2 things. He was bad and he beat Hillary Clinton. We don't like it. Pretty much, that's what it is. So now they got to sell this to the American people, or should I say they don't, because they have the power. What they're trying to do is just say, forget what the American people want, forget the polls. We got to do this because he's going to beat our blocks off in November. This is it. Now, here's the thing that burns me up. You mean to tell me y'all been talking about the reason we got to rush this is a clear and present danger to our democracy. And if we don't get him out now, he might cheat again so that he could win in 2020. So now they're setting the tone, trying to make an excuse, a preemptive excuse about the loss they're going to suffer in 2020. And If it's that serious, if we have to move with that sense of alacrity, then my question is, why are you holding the articles of impeachment? Why don't you want to send them over to the Senate? What are you going to do? Are you just going to hold on to those? That's like accusing someone of a crime and just saying, we'll figure out if we want to prosecute you later or not. Yeah, we'll keep you in suspense. At any given time, we might just call you and say, all right, we're ready to prosecute you now. But you don't give them a fair and speedy trial. So now you got Nancy Pelosi wanting to hang on to the articles and not send them to the Senate because they don't want Trump to get acquitted or that trial just gets dismissed. They don't want that. They want to be able to go into 2020 giving their sorry candidates a chance to say, are you going to elect a president that's been impeached but not gone to trial? You got to be kidding me. And then they belittle our intelligence. They want us to think that we don't see this crap, that we don't see that this is all political. Because if it was a clear and present danger and our democracy was on the line, you would go to war in the Senate. You would say, okay, let's go to the Senate. Let's get this thing cracking. And frankly, I want to see the president go to war over there in the Senate. I want witnesses to be called because, see, the witnesses that the Democrats want to call are not going to hurt Trump. But the ones that we would call would devastate them. Drag in Joe, sleepy, slimy, creepy, sloppy Biden. Drag in that phony, fake whistleblower. Drag in crooked, pencil neck, tight eyes, Adam Schiff. That right there would hurt them. Yeah, see, they don't want those type of problems in their life. All right, so what they're going to now play is the game of, well, Mitch McConnell won't give us a fair trial. Fair? Since when did this become fair? I'm sure they weren't thinking about fairness when they were picking, choosing who the people, the witnesses that the Republicans could bring in during this fake, phony impeachment inquiry. Yeah, was it fair then when they were just changing all the rules because we have the sole power in the House for impeachment? We can make up the rules as we go. But now they want to tiptoe over in the Senate, who have the sole power to actually oversee the trial. And now they want to change their rules. No, it doesn't work that way. Now, shoes on the other foot now. So President Trump does a rally last night. And of course, we already knew he was going to be buck wild. Now, I will say this. I got a phone call from a good friend of mine. He's kind of in the middle. But I will tell him, I say this. He's in the middle, but he leans more left. And he was looking at, the first thing he led in on was President Trump saying something about this Dingleberries or Congressman, whoever she is in Michigan, her husband who passed away. And then he mentioned that, he could be looking down. He's like, I don't know. He could be looking up. Now, granted, I'm sure after he said that, he's probably, oh boy, that one's going to come back to bite me. Everybody's going to be, he's insensitive. He's rude. And later on, he referenced himself in the context of death. And he said, I might be looking up or looking down. In reality, his brain could have said, all right, you know what? I need to balance this out so it don't look like I've excluded myself from this joke. Now, we all know, I need to let people understand the psychology of Trump, all right? We all know that Trump and his personality, he's even though he says what he wants and he's very crass sometimes and straight to the point, but he's also a little bit of narcissistic too. And a narcissist, the problem with a narcissist is they never want to look negative in the eyes of the people. When they are attacked, they counteract and sometimes go too far. They don't think it out. Plus, he was in the audience of people who loved him, the crowd. It was for the people. He probably was like, yeah, the people want it. Here it comes. But not to mention, he was pissed off from all the lies and the garbage that's been going on throughout that whole day. And people who at once was cool with him, smiled in his face, laughed, shook his hand, all of that stuff, are now getting up there lying and saying, I vote to impeach this president. So now the response of someone who has a grandiose ego, who, has narcissistic tendencies, which I'm not judging him for that, because guess what? Some temperaments need to be a little narcissistic to do what they do. When I played football, you think I went out there looking at the other guys like, well, I don't want to hurt anybody, and I'm concerned about me being the victim of getting hurt. No, in my mind, I was invincible. When I went out on the field, I'm coming to hurt people. I never even thought about the context of maybe I might get hurt. If anything, I'm thinking, how many people am I going to hurt today during this game, whether I'm on offense or defense. Let me get back in focus. Wait a minute. What's wrong with this thing? Okay, there we go. So I never once thought in the context of, oh, well, what about my safety? No, as a narcissist to a degree. Now, I'm not saying obnoxiously narcissistic where you're just going around bullying and toting, look at me, I'm the best. I'm talking about an attitude of confidence and an attitude of, I will not be defeated. Okay, I'm the alpha male on this football field. Okay, Trump knows that he's the man when it comes down to politics, and here they are targeting him unjustifiably. Now, with that being said, you throw all those things together, you create a perfect storm for him to get on stage and say something that might have came across a little insensitive, okay? That's one of the things you might say when you're around friends or a small crowd of people or something like that. But he made that statement out loud, and as soon as he said it, I was like, oh. And I didn't look at it as, well, necessarily he shouldn't have said it. I looked at it from the eyes of how is the media going to focus on that instead of everything else that he says, does, and what's going on around him, and totally dismiss all the lies, all the attacks, all the horrific things that people have been saying about Trump forever. They're going to focus on he was insensitive, that woman's husband, ex-husband, all that stuff. I knew that was going to happen. I was like, oh, well, it is what it is. But you know what? I don't care, because I'm just as mad as Trump. Now, I might have not said that, and probably he shouldn't have said it during that particular setting. But at the same time, when you look at the overwhelming attacks on this man and this effort to stage a coup, people are so upset that it's hard to even focus on something he might have said that was insensitive when you look at the array of insensitive, malicious attacks and statements on him. At some point you say, so what? Suck it up. Stop crying. And I'm gonna be honest, right now I'm like, okay, so what? Stop crying, all right? But in closing, we all knew it was coming. And I said it on my live show last night. Trump needs to wear this impeachment like a badge of honor. And I'm gonna tell you why. Give you an example just in case you didn't see my show last night. As a former athlete, I was a force to be reckoned with. So that meant when I stepped out on the field, other teams knew I was a threat. And the reason they knew I was a threat is because guess what? They saw my work. They saw what I was able to do. And when I would come out, they would know that 32 was in the game. Number 32, number 30. They knew that they had to make adjustments to deal with me. Same thing with us. When we would be watching films, there were certain players that the coaches emphasized. When you see number 9 in the game, make sure you're focused, you call it out, you focus on this guy because he's a game changer right here. But if you suck, if you stink, nobody knows you're in the game. If I'm out there playing defensive back and they got some dude run out there with 2 left feet and it looks like he has rickets in his knees, do you think I'm on edge about him? Do you think I think they're throwing the ball to this guy? No. I'm like, the ball's not coming to this guy. He can barely walk. So I'm focused on something else. I'm relaxed. I'm like, this dude is not a threat to me. But certain guys will come out there and I'm like, okay, I got to be focused. This is Randy Moss or, this is Jerry Rice. I can't be out here lazy. I can't be peeking in the backfield. I got to be looking in this dude's eyes because he's a threat. Same thing with Trump. If Trump was not a threat, if they weren't worried about him, if they didn't fear that they had no candidates that can compete against him, no way to beat him, then they would have they'd have left him alone. They'd have said, you know what, don't worry about it. He stinks. 2020, he's going to get smashed anyway. But they know that he's a threat, and this was their last resort. That's the only thing they can do. And so by the fact that they did this shows that they recognize him as a threat, and they know they can't beat him. So this is what they had to do. You know what? If they didn't impeach him, I would be like, what? They didn't impeach me? They disrespected me. I guess they think I'm sorry or something. It's like when I was teaching, I would have young boys sometimes talk reckless to me. Yeah, man, you better get up off me, Mr. L. Man, hey, I tell you what, you better give me my phone. And I say to myself, wait a minute, do I look sorry to you? I'm just curious. Do you not, I can see if I was, skinny and frail, passive and all of that. But I'm thinking to myself, maybe this dude's delusional for him to talk to me like this, because I don't think I look sorry, and I'm offended that you would talk to me like this without considering that I might, take you and wrap you around my waist like a belt. So what that means to me is the fact that they recognize who he is, and they went this far to damage their reputation further than it already is, destroy possibly any chances of them winning in 2020, and setting a precedent that is going to just have horrible effects for our country moving forward. It lets me know this was their only option. That's it. They said, you know what? This guy, he's bigger than us. And this is greater than us. And because we're the dirty D's, we're the dirty Democrat, we're the triple D's, dumb, dirty Democrats, we got to do this. So Trump counted as a badge of honor. It was the last thing they can do. We ain't got no other choice. We got to throw the gun. Click it, we're out of bullets. Yeah, that's what they had to do. Now, anyway, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. Sorry I had to rant about this. But I'm mad, man. I feel like Chris Tucker. I'm mad, man. Listen, man. Yeah, I'm real ticked off over this, but I'm okay with it because guess what? It's going to work out to our benefit. Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. Don't forget, check me out every Wednesday night, 7:30. Kevin's Corner, YouTube, Facebook, and my radio blog talk show. Don't forget to check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. If you like something right now up to Christmas, you get free shipping and handling, and you get a 20% discount by putting Kevin in the promo code. Click like, click share, hit the notification button, and make sure you're still subscribed and you're clicked for notifications for all, because YouTube is messing with me. And then finally, if you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, feel free. There's a link in the bottom to do that. And find me on Facebook and Twitter. And we will see y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. God bless. Take care. And Merry Christmas.